Hey, welcome back to Mobility Project. Here again with pocket gymnast Carl Powley, and today we're going to talk about my favorite, the shoulder again. And turns out we can say unequivocally that you don't have a normal and healthy shoulder unless you've got full range of motion in all directions. In fact, you can't say you have a normal healthy shoulder until I can overpress you, which means take you to end range and press into end range without pain or symptoms. When one of the movements that or one of the ideas that we're trying to do is that we use CrossFit and we use full ranges of motion and try to expose ourselves to a lot of modalities of movement because it helps us to see problems that we might not ordinarily see. One of the big components to internal rotation is extension, which is arm coming back, and there's very little true extension training that happens. And so today, we've got a piece for you, and this is a special treat. Carl Powley, Uber gymnast, to talk about Skin the Cat.
What's up, and welcome back again. Thank you, Kelly. So I think what Kelly is talking about is just trying to find different ways of finding full range of motion in different exercises. In gymnastics, we've talked about this a lot, is that we try to simplify and cut down on variables, so it's one piece body, and it's maybe just one joint moving. And just like Kelly says, we want to have full range of motion in all axes of rotation and all planes of motion.
Wait a minute. Are you saying, because we say this before, that the shoulder and the joint are the shoulder and the hip are the same joint?
Pretty much.
So the other day when we did splits, this is almost like the splits for the shoulder.
Totally. So this is us putting our shoulder. We're going to work on a skin the cat, which is just a very beginners actually in artistic gymnastics strength piece that we do on the rings, which allows us to go from a fully flexed shoulder position hanging from the rings all the way over into a fully extended shoulder position. And just like Kelly is saying, is in a lot of our programming, especially in CrossFit, the only time we see shoulder going into full extension is when we're doing a dip. And we don't see dips every day, and this is something that we should be seeing a little bit more often, or at least doing some kind of assistance through mobility or gymnastics, because it's going to translate. Once again, skill transfer is our key thing into everything else we do. So when we talk about pulling the bar when we're Olympic weightlifting, if we're cleaning, we want to keep that bar close to our body, that internal rotation, shoulder back and down, this is going to be really benefited through this kind of extended shoulder position that we're going to see in a second when we do this skin the cat. So we're just going to take it over to the rings. I'm going to show you how the skin the cat works, and then Kelly's going to give you the magic potion to fix this. Skin the cat, pretty simple. We hang, ideally hands turned out, because that just puts us in a good, nice extended elbow position. Shoulders nice and active. You can see that my shoulder is pretty much hiding my ears here, and that means that I have full elevation in that shoulder blade. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my hip to initiate this movement, so toes are going to go first. Notice how as I go up, the shoulders actually start moving around on their own. The rings are doing the work for me. I come down, palms facing away from me, and all I'm trying to do here is get into as much extension as I can. As I'm getting into this extension, I do not want to hang on a soft shoulder. Right now I'm actually active, pulling my shoulder blades back and down, not allowing myself to hang on the capsule. If I'm hanging on the capsule, that's bad deal. We do not want to see that. Elbows are straight, palms are back. I do not want to turn the hand in. I want to actually allow it to go into that external rotation, which is going to benefit me later on when I get into all my other magic. On the way back, I just went back in a tuck position. Being able to go through this full range of motion is definitely going to translate into a healthy shoulder. And that skill at the same time is not just going to give you spatial awareness, but also shoulder position awareness. And just by doing that, I actually feel way better. I was kind of sore from earlier. So that's something to work on. Now Kelly is going to give you the secret sauce on how to make it even better.
You can't make that better, but no, look, one of the things that we see is our athletes get really short in the front, and opening this up in the opposite direction is no different than saying, hey, I'm short in the hip, I'm going to open the hip up in the other direction. It gives me room, it gives me space, and allows for a much larger shing.
We're good. No, you're good there. You're good there. We just had a little glare. There you go.
All right, so here's what we do. Very simple. We talked about this before. One is just doing skin the cat is going to make a difference. So today's homework, go back to the gymnastics WOD, take a look at the Skin the Cat video, but I want you to mess around with Skin the Cat if you can, if you have access to rings. If you don't have access to rings, at the very least, let's get a PVC pipe or a dowel, and let's start by grabbing hands tight where you're comfortable, setting that shoulder into an active position. It's about being in an active range of motion, Bend over, belly tight. We're going to simulate that skin the cat position by lifting off and pressing. It's not enough to leave my shoulders forward. I need to try to initiate by squeezing back, even if I need to go wide, almost like a Bergner pass-through. Let's lift off, hang, and let the gravity help. Squeezing shoulders back and active. This looks a lot like yoga. Do not be confused. This is weightlifting badassness. If you can grab your own hand, squeezing shoulders together, you should be able to lift up pretty far off. I have a wonky wrist. This is how I help. Belly tight, pull off, hang. You can contract or relax with someone else here. Active, 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 hang. This will be kind of an easy way to work on that pure piece. First time we ever gave this to you guys, we did it with the kitchen sink. Grab your kitchen sink, same idea. Big chest. If you need to protect the elbows, protect the elbows. Because the ring isn't moving here to unload the elbow, don't apply a torque. Big chest, chest tall, start to sink down, lower that down, work on that extension. I want you to just keep it really simple today. Work on opening up extension, opening up the chest, find out how far you can go. This is the only piece of homework today we have, because you got to do some big cleaning on CrossFit.com. Think about your homework now, besides just working on this piece after you've done your cleaning, is how do you prep for cleaning? What are the demands besides wrist flexibility, external rotation, inflection, just as a hint? How would I might improve my thoracic positioning? Could I roll? Would that help? How am I going to work on flexion and external rotation? Making sure I'm strong in the bottom position. You get the idea. Think critically about how am I going to prep for today's movement, and then afterwards, skin the cat, work on extension. All right? We'll see you tomorrow.